I'm very excited to be here. This is a lovely space, and if you are a visitor and not a staff member here, I highly encourage you to take advantage of the archives. It is a treasure here in Louisiana, and I like when people use archives. It makes life much better. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Virtual Footlocker project, and I want to start off with this. I don't expect you to be able to read that. May 2nd, 1952. Dear Junior, Gloria and I were very happy to hear that you are now well situated in the routine of ye old army, or something. Keep us informed on any new moves you make. Do you know when your final training period will be over? Gloria and I were blessed with a new baby boy on April 19th at 1:28 in the afternoon. At birth, the little guy tipped the scales at 7 pounds and 3.5 ounces, which is a pretty nice size. The last reports I received were that Douglas and RJ have decided to join the Foreign Legion. Their reasons are obvious. Gloria will write a few words now. Hi, Eddie. It's too bad we can't make it to your wedding. I look forward to going, but the doctor said he didn't think I could travel so soon, and he can't really tell until my 6-week checkup. Also, it would be so hard to take the baby. Last week, we got a new rotary-type power mower. It sure does the job with a lot less stress and strain. It's a Craftsman from Sears. We will sell our other mower now. I don't know whether or not we told you we have a 52 Ford. We got it on February 23rd. It's a mainline V8 in pale green. Doug and Jackie have one also, even the same color. Bye now. Write soon and let us know how everything is getting along. Love, Gloria, Dick, and Kurt. So this was an excerpt from a letter written to my father while he was attending officer training at Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas. He's that handsome gentleman, from the, right, on the front row there. I found it among a treasure trove of documents, photographs, and mementos inside a dusty old footlocker stored in my parents' attic after my father passed away in 2011. At the time, I was finishing my PhD at UW-Milwaukee and really contemplating different challenges archives and society face in the early 21st century. My experience reflects those of many whose loved ones served the military. Sorting through collections of personal records, documenting a military life, contextualizes the sacrifices and challenges these airmen, soldiers, sailors, and Marines encountered. The most recent statistics indicate that there are around 19 million veterans in the United States as of this year. This represents less than 10% of the adult population. According to the VA, the Gulf War era veterans, those are those who served between 1990 and the present, account for the largest share with approximately 7.8 million. While this figure really does appear large, consider this. In 1980, about 18% of the adult population were veterans. By 2018, that number had decreased to just 7%. This means that today fewer people are directly connected to somebody who served in the military. For many, their only connection to veterans and their stories will be exposure to archival and museum collections, similar to many visitors of the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. It's vital, therefore, to preserve these records. But the 21st century veteran experience presents significant new challenges compared to their 20th century counterpart. Contemporary veterans utilize a broader array of platforms to document their time in service, incorporating both analog and digital worlds. Analog records, such as the physical letters, the photographs, postcards, trinkets, and mementos are relatively easy to store and to bring out when you want to share them with other people. The digital materials, the emails, the text messages, videos, digital photos, and social media posts are much more challenging and much more abstract. Addressing these challenges motivated me to create the Virtual Footlocker project. While helping to preserve veteran records may help archives and manuscripts, museums. It may help manuscripts as well. In the long run, it's not really the primary purpose of this project. Rather, as an archivist, as a researcher, particularly one at a land-grant institution, I feel a sense of duty to help veterans preserve these records for themselves and for their loved ones. So in its entirety, the Virtual Footlocker project aims to first identify the types of records 21st century active duty military and veterans create to document their time in service. Secondly, to explore how veterans use these personal records. Third, to provide veterans with the tools and training to be able to identify what records are important, how to organize them, how to store them, and how to preserve them. And finally, to train archivists and other cultural heritage professionals on how to assist veterans with this work. Thursday, March 17th, 1955. Dear girls, I received your nice letter today, and I was very happy to receive it. It felt so much like being with you, and in a way made me miss you so much more. I love you so much. I'm anxious to receive your letter after you've heard that you can come up shortly. Captain Lowe, who arrived here on the 15th, hasn't found a place yet, but is waiting to hear if I can rent the other place that we talked about. I hope I can get it. It's much nicer. I've been playing some bridge lately, and most of the players are experts. I'm going into it without hesitation now. After supper last night, we played till midnight while drinking beer. I didn't pay for one round because of the system we were using. If you were doubled and made it, the person who doubled you paid for the round of drinks and vice versa. You've been moving around and keeping yourself busy, and that's good. Keep it up. I must stop to mail this now. We'll write tonight. Love, Dad and Eddie. So over the past 3 years, my research team and I worked to investigate the first two aspects of this project, the types of records created and their use. In our first research phase, we conducted a survey of 267 active duty military and veterans to better understand the types of records created and where veterans stored their records. Overall, the findings noted a wide range of formats and platforms that were used. While most used digital photos and videos, a significant percentage still relied on much more analog materials such as letters, postcards, and collecting physical objects like tins of dirt. And I really do find the tins of dirt thing fascinating because it's something that I would do too. Using the results of this initial phase, we received funding from the Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS. They are a great federal funder, particularly for archives, libraries, and museums. Forgot that little part in there. To conduct a much more thorough investigation through collecting a large series of focus groups. This grant funding allowed me to bring on additional team members such as Dr. Alan Martell, Jillian Brownlee, and most recently Dana Carello, as well as a full advisory board to provide feedback along the way. The advisory board includes fellow archival researchers, practitioners, representatives from veterans organizations such as the Wounded Warrior Project and the USO, and active duty military and veterans. The original plan was for the focus groups to have 2 per military branch, 1 with officers and 1 with the enlisted. Each would be about an hour and a half and would be held in person at one of 6 locations in the U.S. Those plans were made in 2019. And as we all know, by early 2020, everything went out the window, including my project. COVID-19 really forced us to rethink our approach, and we reconfigured the study for online participation with a surprising benefit. The savings of me not visiting the great state of Alaska meant that we could spend more money on compensating participants. This allowed us to expand the study from 12 to 24 focus groups. Additionally, since we were not limited to a physical location, we could recruit from across the country and, in fact, the world, and we could spread the focus groups across the entire summer instead of just 1 month. In the end, we held a pilot study, 4 focus groups for each military branch, and 2 focus groups that were restricted to female participants. The study included 99 participants, and let me tell you, as a researcher, being 1 person short of 100 just drives me mad when I write up statistics. But we did get 99, and the demographics of this group, I won't get into it, but they're very reflective of the military itself. After transcribing all these focus groups, we analyzed the data and identified important trends and patterns, of which I will highlight several after another letter excerpt. October 22nd, 2000. Dear Eddie, hello, how are you doing? I know it's rough right now, but you'll make it through. Everything is going to seem weird when you get out, but things will gradually become normal. My tips are: follow all the rules, be quiet, and never volunteer. I still don't. I want to come see you for graduation, but I have school on Friday. I'm trying to see if anybody wants to go with me to San Antonio for that weekend. I could leave after school on Friday and spend Saturday with you on Town Pass and then come back on Sunday. It's about a 3-hour drive. I'm at Goodfellow Air Force Base in San Angelo. It sucks. I'll keep bugging people and write to you again soon and let you know for sure. You'll have to let me know where and when to pick you up. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Love, Jenny. Yes, that is me. So the research team identified over 225 themes across over 3,000 areas of the focus group data. I am not getting into a statistical analysis today. For that, read one of the publications, attend one of the conference presentations. But I do not need to bore you with statistics. So don't worry, I'm not getting into all of them here. Needless to say, there's a lot of data, and we only have time to highlight a few things today. Not surprisingly, participants indicated the use of a wide range of communication methods, including phone calls, emails, social media, texting, and letter writing. One participant highlighted the importance of a simple phone call, particularly a phone call back home, stating, quote, "When I was in Germany, I would get homesick. There was a payphone right off base, and I would put that mark in there, and I would dial Homer National Bank time and temperature. That just kind of made my day, that I was listening to somebody back home, so to speak." End quote. Other participants discussed how they use different methods at different times during the service. For example, one participant discussed shifting from letters to texting and phone calls. Another noticed how writing letters during deployments encouraged them to start writing a journal just so they could remember everything. Yet another participant noted how much they valued postcards, stating, quote, "I just love taping them up, being able to go somewhere else in my mind, and due to the simplistic nature of postcards, you can just keep it simple. Synthesize the high points. Tell somebody you love them. Send them a picture that matters, or receive one from back home." And that was just really powerful to have. In discussing the preservation of their materials, many veterans indicated privacy and security concerns, such as those that worked in special operations and with classified materials. Others were wary about the security of cloud-based storage and who might have access to their materials. Veterans also identified the need to preserve their materials for the public. As one noted here, DC is going to need pictures for their museums. They're going to need things that were essentially completely blocked for us to share from 9/11 going forward. Just like my father's physical footlocker, modern veterans store their analog materials in closets, in boxes, in attics, in garages, in those things we don't have here called basements. For some, it's convenience, while for others, it helps compartmentalize difficult memories. As one veteran noted, "A lot of it I just wouldn't be interested in because everything's in my garage. It's locked away right now. I purposefully have to prepare to go down to the garage and get the stuff out if I'm going to go down memory lane, because it can be triggering for a lot of people. I know a lot of female veterans I work with. Any type of seeing a man in uniform is triggering for them in that way." Storing their digital materials remains a significant challenge for most veterans. Some noted holding on to hard drives and not being able to access them anymore. Others kept cell phones, again, having no idea what to do with them. And several used cloud-based storage and misplaced their passwords. They had their accounts hacked, or even found that hosting companies went out of business without telling people. Not surprisingly, veterans take great pride in their service and subsequently in the desire to keep and preserve their records. These objects, be they analog or digital, encapsulate important moments in their lives, and as this participant notes, it's like being your first time away from your family. So there's a lot of experiences that get kept in those letters of how you were feeling or how your family was feeling at that moment. So it's just something to look back to. It reminds you that you've grown, that you've matured. Finally, a significant number of veterans discussed losing records and the impact that that had on them. While some of the losses came from forgetting passwords, as I mentioned, many participants discussed the frequency of losing items by the military during official moves, known as Permanent Change of Station or PCS. This might be best summarized here, as one veteran notes, "I think the biggest challenge is that every PCS season, it's like a roulette wheel for what's going to go missing every time you move. But I kind of keep everything that's super, super important to me with me in my car and hand carry it to the next place." So as I noted earlier, this focus group data is extremely rich, and I could spend 8 hours talking about it, and I don't have time for that today. So here's just kind of a broad, high-level summary of our key findings. Unlike the significant shift to digital that I assumed going into this project, it has not occurred. While military members and veterans are using more digital-based technologies, there is still a significant number of analog materials. So both maintain an important role. Veterans collect a significant amount of artifacts, the three-dimensional objects, in addition to more traditional records. These include, as I mentioned, jars of dirt, trinkets, and other mementos collected along the way. Active duty personnel are now encouraged to create something called a Love Me binder during their time in service. And as a side note, this would have really helped me out because I did lose certain things. But these binders include copies of all of their important documents, their travel orders, promotions, reviews, awards, letters of reprimand, medical records, anything and everything that they would have had in their official military records. The binders serve as a way to ensure veterans have access to their official records. I write here, in the case of the military or VA losing them, not just in the case, but parts of your record will likely go missing. Another thing to keep in mind from an archival perspective, several years ago there was the fire in St. Louis that destroyed a lot of veteran records. And this is a way to avoid that. Personally, my medical records went missing. I'm pretty sure they're holding up a desk in somebody's office. Finally, training regarding documenting their time in service and preservation of personal records really needs to occur early in one's military career to avoid losing important records, rather than waiting until they are veterans. With that in mind, where do we go from here? More about that after this final letter. October 18th, 2000. Hey Ed, so they're working you pretty hard over there, huh? Well, I'm sure you'll make it. Here's a quick update of what's going on in the world. The New York Mets and Yankees are going to be in the World Series, and recently the final big piece of Miller Park's roof was placed. Bush has taken a small lead in the polls since all the debates have taken place. This Saturday, Big is going to initiate a new group. I hear it's about 9 people, so that's going to double the group size. Hopefully I'll get to make it there. Yes, we're definitely going to need to get together at Christmas. How long is the training going to take? When it's over, how long of a break will you have? I think I already told you I'm working at another Dairy Queen. Otherwise, it's pretty much business as usual around here. If I get to SNC this weekend, I'll definitely tell them you said hi. Back to the grind. Take care, buddy. Bob. As a quick side note, as you can see from the letter excerpts throughout this presentation, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Many of these letters to and from service members reflect similar experiences and emotions, the providing of real-world updates, discussions of training and logistics, and generally just keeping in touch with family and friends while away. But back to what's next. After reviewing the data and identifying the needs of veterans, the research team is now developing 2 sets of training and resources. The first, and perhaps most important, will be for active duty military and veterans. It will be built as a 4-module series that could be completed entirely online or delivered in person. Upon completion of this curriculum, veterans will be able to plan for the storage and preservation needs of their personal records, prioritize and select items for long-term preservation, apply basic strategies and practices of organization, storage and preservation, and locate additional resources and potential cultural heritage institutions. The first module will introduce the importance of preserving personal military records and how to identify the storage and preservation needs of those records. It'll talk about how to identify what records to keep, what the key and important moments of one's military career are, and how to prioritize. The second module will focus on the organization and storage of personal military records with basic organizational strategies, the importance of naming conventions, and how to apply them. As many of us know, anytime you look at a hard drive and there's a whole series of IMG_001 file names for pictures. There'll also be a discussion of physical and digital storage and how to select the best options. The third module will introduce veterans about concepts of basic preservation techniques for both analog and digital records, how to identify items that may need professional conservation, and how to select and apply the best approaches for their own materials. Finally, the fourth module will help veterans locate specialized preservation resources. Things like how to preserve your uniform. Discuss the role of archives and museums in long-term preservation, and provide more information about regional and national archives and museums that have military collections. As I noted, a second curriculum will be aimed specifically for archivists and other cultural heritage workers, and this one will be aiming directly at allowing archivists to be able to discuss the key issues and challenges of personal military records, implement best practices with working with military and veterans, including trust building, utilize the virtual footlocker curriculum for active duty military and veterans, and how to design and implement community and participatory projects with active duty military and veterans. So the research team is currently working on developing these materials, and we will have them freely available online on our website by the end of next summer. And by next summer, I mean 2022. That took a moment in my head to remember what year we were in. I want to thank you for attending the presentation. For more information about the project, I do have to do my plug here. Please visit our website at virtualfootlocker.com. The number of people I've had visit thinking they can buy sneakers, and the fact that Foot Locker did not claim this before I got to it. But do visit the website. Please note we are currently doing a significant revamp of the website, moving it from, hey, we're looking for participants, to look what we've been doing. So do come back and visit it often. We also have social media accounts, as one would be. So thank you again, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
I'm curious about what drove you to name the binders Love Me binders, since they don't seem to contain much personal, or not personal, but the letters. It seems like official documents.
Yeah, actually, that was not us. It's what they call them in the Army. So I think the underlying concept is you need to love yourself. And in order to love yourself, you need to keep what's important to you, which is all this stuff. And in the focus groups, we actually had a few guys who went and grabbed theirs. And it wasn't one binder. It was like 7 of every piece of paper that they ever had. Even down to paychecks, which, okay, there's a whole thing that we can talk about from an archival perspective of you don't really need to keep your paychecks. But I'm not about to tell them that. Yeah, and it was a little bit of a shock to me because, like I said, that tradition came between 2003 and 2005, it showed up. Because it didn't exist when I was in. Or if it did, it wasn't in the Air Force. I should note here, we did not interview anybody from the Space Force. It did not exist during our...
Not even William Shatner?
Not even William Shatner, although they did definitely take liberties with the Starship Enterprises logo. And I really wish they would have called them Space Cadets. But any other? Yes.
I'm wondering what was the sort of reasoning behind doing two strictly women focus groups, and does that have anything to do maybe with creating a database for activist groups who are seeking awareness for problems that women generally face in the service?
So when we were designing the study, we decided to do those two separate groups for what you were actually just getting at, that there would be some things that perhaps, we didn't know, but perhaps they would feel more comfortable only talking about amongst a group of women without male involvement. Those focus groups were run by Jillian Brownlee, so I did not participate in them because I figured if I was the one doing them, that just threw that out the window. And there were some findings that came out of that, particularly, I think the one talking about when they see any man in uniform, they have issues, because there were discussions about sexual assault in those panels. There were also some discussions about LGBTQ issues, particularly since the time period of our study overlapped when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. So there were some people in our study that were in during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell period, who then came out after they left, and then there were some that came out during because Don't Ask, Don't Tell was rescinded. I really would like, I'm going to be honest, my plate is very full, so I'm trying to convince one of my colleagues to take up doing a more focused study on LGBTQ records in the military, particularly from the 80s and 90s, to see what's there, what isn't, what can be read between the lines, things like that. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? So I will note that a lot of times when we're talking to the public, the question comes up, well, what about non-21st century veterans? And our idea here is that these tools will be able to be used by anybody. For family members who are now digitizing materials, well, they will then be digital, so they should follow some of the procedures that we'll lay out. We also anticipate that a lot of this can be utilized by just regular, a lot of it will pertain to just personal collections as well. Although everything that we will be presenting in the materials will be focused entirely on the military concerns. So as far as deployment of these training modules, while they will be freely available online, we will be leveraging our connections with several of those service organizations. And the nice thing about military bases, everyone has a library. And those librarians like joining professional organizations, including a roundtable just for military librarians. So we're hoping that we can connect with them to help do some of these workshops in person as well. Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I have to be honest, as an archivist and then also as a spouse of a veteran, I was really geeking out. This was fantastic. It also made me think, to your last point, as a spouse, of a military member, how much of my history is maybe just evaporating because it wasn't well documented during that time. And so I'm now like writing a to-do list in my mind of all the things I need to go back and try to recapture. So thank you so much. It was amazing. We really appreciate it. We have a small gift for you. A book about one of our other institutions, the Old State Capitol.
So what did Mark Twain call this?
I don't know. What did Mark Twain call the Old State Capitol?
But I love it, so I think it's a beautiful cast on. This is something.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate it. And I have to say, I forgot to mention our next event. I told you all about the upcoming events, and then the very next event that we're doing is on Tuesday. Please join us for our annual Archives Open House, which is going to be Tuesday the 26th. We'd love for you to come back or tell your students about it. We'll be posting about it on social media, but we'll have tours throughout the day and then one evening tour along with a reception. We've really enjoyed doing the open house because it allows us to let the public come and see what you don't normally see behind the secure doors. So invite your friends and your family, and again, check us out on social media for that. And thank you, Dr. Benoit.